Let's try this again. The Monster Energy green can, zero sugar. Maybe not scuffed this time. Yeah, it's already open. We already made some boo boos. So this is take two, but for you it might be take one. All right, yeah. So regular green Monster, zero sugar. Your typical Monster caffeine and vitamin cocktail, I suppose. And we will rate this out of 100. 25 for aroma, 25 for palate, 25 for finish, 10 for texture, and 15 for my personal experience. What country? I'm from Canada. Canada. Alright, here we go. I can't remember if that's the same color as like the regular green Monster, but here's our color here. This one does look a little bit more overcarbonated than the last pour. It does in fact look overcarbonated to me, but we'll see. See how we feel about it on the texture end. So let's see what we get on the nose here. That smells like Monster. It still smells like that sweet Rockets candy or sweet tarts. Like that chalky rolled candy. It feels not as complex as the sugared variant. Which I feel like eventually I got some amount of like hints of other things. Like I think I did listed like vanilla and some other stuff, but this one is actually kind of receding into kind of a lemon note, which seems to be common of these beverages, that they are citrus related so far. That initial aroma is kind of degrading into like a powdered sugar, kind of just like generically sweet, and like maybe a slight citrus, but not lemon. Also not orange. It's almost like that aroma is devolved into like grapefruit with sugar on top. Kind of like you would have for breakfast. You know, where you like cut the grapefruit in half and put sugar on it and then just eat it with a spoon. Like a sweet citrus type of thing, but not like a clear lemon, lime, orange. Or it could be, I guess, one of those other kinds of citrus that are like obscure and I don't know too well, like kumquat or something like that. Isn't that a citrus fruit? I don't know. Yeah, it's like a weird citrus with like like a powdered sugar. Or like, honestly, there's a bit of like syrup. Like generic table syrup. Alright. So, Monster Energy green can. Zero sugar on the palate. Cheers. Yeah, it tastes very similar to Monster. But this one has got way more carbonation to it. It definitely, like, near the mid palate, back palate, it's like all bubbles. It's like you get in, it's like all carbonation in the back palate. It's like they're kind of almost like they're pretty clever in that, like, the upfront taste is really similar to Monster, and then maybe that point where it would devolve into like a chemically zero sugar chemical taste It's like covered up by carbonation. Maybe an ingenious play. Because I can't really taste much on the mid palate because it's too carbonated. Some acidity to it. You do get some of that unfortunate, slightly medicinal artificial sweetener taste on the finish, along with some like kind of like sweet notes. I guess it's like just the sweetener. It's like all sweetener left on the finish. Sweetener is what lingers. Maybe maybe a bit of lime on there. Yeah, I think lime is a fair citrus. Nose is maybe better than we anticipated. Again, sweet tarts, rockets, candy, some acidity in the mid palate. Honestly, slight apple note going into the finish. Apple candy into like artificial sweetener taste. Actually, not bad. Actually, not bad. All right, so out of 25, let's score the aroma here. Which again, right now is actually just presenting me with like kind of like a lime citrus, which is an evolution from that like raucous candy, sweetened grapefruit, powdered sugar thing. Yeah, just like slightly lime kind of note. Call this 15. All right, now on the palate at 25. Again, those sweet artificial tart candies. It also kind of feels like a bit of apple in there, like oversweet candy apple. Like almost like the apple you would get at a sour green apple, but not sour, if that makes any sense. Again, slight acidity in the mid palate. And yeah, like devolves into like some apple thing near the back palate. Not too bad. Um, 15. I think 15 is good here too. Now on the finish, that does have that slightly artificial sweetener medicinal aftertaste. But I also get like that note, those notes of apple candy with a bit of that lime. And then what rides out though at the back of the finish is all artificial sweetener medicinal aftertaste. So it's not it's got a reasonably tasty finish, but it also has a detractor. I'm gonna give it 13 on the finish just because it has that medicinal aftertaste. All right, Now, we'll talk about the texture here, which again, to me, I think this is slightly overcarbonated and a little bit sticky. But not too bad. It's not great. Nothing's impressing me about the mouthfeel. Other than perhaps they used carbonation to cover up some medicinal notes on the palate, which is maybe just ingenious, but... Man, it's not bad until like the overcarbonation kicks in. Give it a 5. So out of 15, my personal experience with this one Monster Energy Zero Sugar, the green can. And again, we'll ask ourselves, why would we go for the Monster Energy Zero Sugar over any other offering? And this one, again, is very similar to the original Monster, except it's got maybe a little bit too much carbonation for me. It's like some of the carbonation, I think, was used to cover up some of that artificial sweetener taste. And it has some of that artificial sweetener taste on the back end, which is not optimal. So to me, it's like probably just straight worse than drinking a green Monster. But that's what you get with a zero sugar option, I suppose. Hi. I can mute for a second. All right. So, yeah, again, in terms of taste, again, we're just trying to evaluate this on its flavor on its own. This, I think, is just a worse green Monster. That's my personal opinion. It is maybe a bit forgettable in that way. Just get a green Monster in terms of taste. If you really want zero sugar, it's maybe a good alternative. But in terms of flavor, get a green Monster instead. Easy 3. Easy 3. Easy 3 out of 15. Alright. So, let's give this a total. 15, and 15, and 13, and 5, and 3. It's 51. 51 out of 100. This is still good. We'll still call this good. It's a good drink. It's good.